Alright, guys. So, this is her. Yeah, kind of had a scare the other day. I was driving home from work. Went, hit high boost because there was a bike that was just taking off. And so, I played with 600 bikes and I've been able to, not beat them crazy, but at least, pull on them. After about 80 miles an hour, I don't know. I remember just this one guy, we were running, and I remember I seen his lights, and he just, slowly was, pulling back. But anyways, I seen the bike, he took off, and I was like, oh, let me, play with him. Let me see what high boost can do. So I go, and bam, I hit high boost. Man, that shit probably, I don't know, it went past 30 pounds. I had boost cuts set for something crazy like 38 pounds. I don't even know what. But then when it reaches up that high, like really like past, I think 36, I have it, rich as hell, retard timing, just so I don't blow shit. So I hit it and pop, and it wasn't sputtering. It wasn't doing anything. It was pulling. It didn't feel clean. But I let go. So I was like, whatever. I'll just have to, fix this later down the road and we'll see what happens next. Well, I come and I throw it back on, low boost, 20 pounds. So I hit the corner. I put it in second. Next thing you know, poof! And freaking all I smell is coolant. And I see smoke, and luckily I was right by the house, had my laptop on. Temps only got to 208 by the time I shut her off. So I was like, all right, cool. But what I noticed was it went poof, and there was no smoke out of the exhaust, no change in idle or running, And I had this actually happen to me before. One of the freeze plugs blew out. And also, I don't know if you can see that shit. Damn flashlight ain't working. But anyways, my intercooler's kind of bowed out. And it's just from the cooling system getting pressurized. So majority of the time when, coolant's getting pressurized, you're automatically thinking head gasket. And so when I had blew my Cometic, probably about 2 years ago, that was, basically what happened. I lifted the head, and I had around the seal for the Cometic, it has a little ring seal, that separated. So whenever I went over 10 pounds, I would lose water. I was like, all right, whatever. So anyways, got the Cosworth, put that in, torqued it back down, and everything's been fine. Well, that's what happened Friday. I pull out a second, poof, and then I, notice I'm like, oh shit, that has to be a freeze plug. So I ended up blowing the freeze plug over here. KA blocks. I got 2 on exhaust side, 2 on intake side, and 1 behind the block just before the transmission. So anyways, I parked her up. I started opening, playing with it. Well, this is what happened. I went and I'm like, I don't get no crazy, smoke out of the exhaust. So I was like, the head gasket's most likely still good. They are ARP bolts and all that. Then the other thing too was, everything changed just fine. There's, no crazy idle. So I'm like, the only way for this, another way for this coolant system, which is a fucking retarded design on Nissan's part. It's a fucking 25-year-old motor. What do you expect? On intake runner 1 and here, the water port goes through there. So on the gasket, it's whatever. So if you have a little leak and whatever, if you're boosting, pressure from cylinder 1 will leak in the cooling system. So I was like, that's got to be my problem. So today, after working on this guy's 350 and doing suspension and some other shit on his car, I was like, all right, time to play in my car. Because I've been actually moving her in and out of the garage for the past 2 days, with no coolant in the car. But I'm just, moving it turning it on for like 30 seconds just to move it in, whatever. So, I mean, it's not going to do anything crazy. But I had a thermal gasket on. And as you can see from that thermal gasket, this guy is like pushed out. So, I mean, I don't know if you can really see that, but it's got a combination of pressure, expanding it, heat, making this a little bit more viable, probably expanding it. Maybe some other, thermal something, some other scientific reasoning, behind the whole thing. So basically, as I can kind of see there, it looks, I only had like a little bit, so that possibly, whoops, there goes out. That area right there only had, man, I don't even know, about less than a 1/4 inch of material there. So I'm thinking, plus you can see this damn thing is, freaking, what do you call it, warped, or whatever the hell. So, this is this is one of those Circuit Sports intake. It worked well. I've had it for a long time. I've reused it many times. But as you can see here, this one looks, so I don't know if, it could take high boost. But anyhow, I put in a Felpro, good old $5, gasket. Then there's another little trick that I like using with paper gaskets. You do use your copper spray, or even RTV, like the high temp copper sprayer. The red actually works really well. I haven't had any issues. That's why before my other videos you see like red all freaking like seeped out and shit. It's because I was trying to avoid this issue, I guess. But anyhow, I use Indian Head shellac compound. It's like this brown shit that you paste on, kind of let it dry, put it on, it's tacky. When it dries, it's like I don't know, I can't really explain it, but it really holds off. So I went, put that in, went to my in-laws, sneezed a couple gears, everything's fine. So I'm just, I guess, really, if you have one of those thermal gaskets, be careful. Take a look at it next time you have the intake manifold off, and just see if, see if it's warped, see it, just to avoid any issues. Because, I'm pretty sure if someone were to run into this issue, they would probably, like, oh, my head's, gone, whatever, head gasket. But then that's the other thing I'm trying to tell you. I had no water mixing, no oil and water mixing. I obviously lost coolant because the hole on the side of the block was exposed. But yeah, that was the biggest thing too, There was no water and oil mixing. And so anyways, got her back, and it was like, same thing, kind of say you dodged a bullet. But just a little tip, if, one of you guys out there got this thermal gasket and your cooling system's getting pressurized, check that out first. It could save you time rather than, because I hate fucking taking off the head, especially with the head in the car. I'd rather take the whole damn motor out. But, it's one of those things where think it out. Think of, out of the box. And then if you do, you might be able to find your problems out of the box, and it'll save you time, money, and happiness. But, alright guys, like,